This week on Culinary Delight.
So it is about time that we all learn different recipes that actually need few ingredients, which will make very delicious meals. And when we talk of delicious meals, there are times that barbecues are regarded as the most fabulous food to be eaten over the weekend.
On Sunday at 7:30 p.m. only on Capital Television.
It's so soft, juicy, smoky. You know that's the best part of any barbecue. Haya. In Capital News tonight, Burundi fails to send representative to heads of EAC meeting. DRC Electoral Commission says it is ready for elections on December 23rd. And in sports, national under-13 cricket team off to good start in TCA T20 series. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. Now, the 20th meeting of the heads of state of the EAC's member countries, which was supposed to have taken place in the city of Arusha, has been postponed. This comes after the president of Burundi fails not only to attend the meeting, but also to send any representative or any information which would explain his absence. As he was giving the news of the meeting's postponement, the chairman of the Council of Ministers of the EAC member states, Dr. Kivijinja Kirunda, who is Ugandan, and the Minister for Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Tanzania, Ambassador Augustine Mahiga, explained the reason for the postponement of the meeting. According to the Ambassador Mahiga, the date for the meeting will be planned later before the end of this year.
All partner states representation, which is in accordance with the decision making by consensus under Article 12 of the treaty. The decision to postpone the 20th Ordinary Summit has been taken by President Yoweri Museveni of the Republic of Uganda and the Chairperson Summit, President Uhuru Kenyatta of the Republic of Kenya, President Dr. John Pombe Joseph Magufuli of the United Republic of Tanzania.
Hasa kutokana na sheria za mkataba wa Afrika Mashariki.
According to laws governing East Africa, even a ministerial meeting cannot proceed without the presence of all ministers. So no agreement was reached in this case. We simply held a discussion and advised one another. When presidents or their representatives arrived, we'd hoped that Burundi would have sent a representative too. But since we started the meeting in the morning, we heard no word from them. So heads of state, together with their representatives, thought that it was unconstitutional to go ahead with this meeting. As business investors, we believe that it is a good idea if leaders can speak to each other so as to ensure that such problems do not arise again, so that its people and business community can have confidence on the existence of East African community.
The High Court of Tanzania in Dar es Salaam has failed to continue to listen to the appeal to Chadema Chairman Freeman Mbowe and Tarime Aban MP, as was decided earlier after the prosecution appealed the decision by the High Court. Now, earlier today, High Court Judge Sam Rumanyika dismissed the opposition from the prosecution, wanting the court not to listen to the appeal of the two defendants whose bail was revoked by Kisutu Resident Court judge for failing to meet the terms of bail and postponed the appeal to 2 p.m. When the court resumed, government prosecutor Paul Kadushi told the court that the state had delivered a notice to appeal the appeal court's decision to continue to listen to the appeal case of Mbowe and Matiko. The move was opposed by the defendants' attorneys led by Peter Kibatala and Jeremiah Mtobesia, who claimed that they had received the appeal notice from the appeals court, which is against procedure, thus removing its legitimacy, and that this appeal is a delay tactic of the principal case, asking that the court continue to listen to the appeal as was decided previously. After legal arguments between the two opposing sides, the judge was forced to postpone the case for half an hour before making a decision on it. Later, Judge Rumanyika returned and halted the appeal on bail until the appellate court decides on the appeal filed by the state. Now, the police force in Nyamagana district, Mwanza region, is holding two leaders of Mlango Moja second-hand clothes market for allegations of being involved in the fire incident that burnt down 55 stalls and 29 shops on September 28th of this year, causing loss of over 500 million shillings. The leaders being held include the market secretary George Boniface and his assistant secretary Mansour Ahmad. Nyamagana District Commissioner Dr. Phyllis Nyimbi also listed other allegations being leveled against the leaders.
The current management is collecting contributions from its people unfairly and has failed to submit revenue and expenditure reports to fellow businessmen and women. The management has also engaged unregistered security firm whose staff use weapons against the law and have not received the necessary training. The report findings show that the fire was started by an explosive device and not from wood, and the reason why the fire spread quickly is because fire exits had been blocked. The chair will be Jackson Kayoza and Maimuna Selemani will be vice chair, while Victor Simuni will be the secretary general. We have 6 guards who will be in charge of security. For former leaders to be removed, it has made us so happy. They used to charge us 12,000 shillings every month for them to only hand over 5,000 to the city council. We are pleased with the changes.
The Council of Representatives meeting that is going on in Zanzibar witnessed a strong argument today after the argument which arose when the issue of Zanzibar sugar was discussed took place between representatives and the government. The controversy suffers after the representative for Paje, Jaku Hashim, and the representative for Mpendai, Mohammed Said Dimwa, had questioned an Isles government minister about the sugar. In another development, the revolutionary government of Zanzibar has increased by 100% the salaries of the Army Force officers of the SMZ.
Market. So how then can products made in Zanzibar be treated differently in the East African market? While products from Kenya, Burundi, Uganda and Rwanda enter mainland Tanzania market, what is it that Zanzibar has done to mainland Tanzania, and what steps have been taken to address this? I shall not lie to your esteemed council. What I would like to assure you is that the meeting was conveyed. You know this because once you held the position of Deputy Minister, you know that meetings usually is held by Ministerial Business Council of Zanzibar and the Union so as to address concerns. So we shall continue doing so.
A 16-story building in Zanaki Posta Street in Dar es Salaam City is in danger of collapsing after it was seen leaning on a neighboring building. The leadership of the municipal has begun an evaluation so as to move their residents before something worse happens. Engineer John Magori from Ubungo Municipal, who discovered the problem, promised to begin his investigation before moving the residents.
Tutakachokifanya ni kuenda katika majengo haya na kuangalia.
What we're going to do is to carry out an inspection to establish whether the building meets set standards. If not, then the building will have to be evacuated so necessary repair work can be done. If they cannot be repaired, then such buildings will have to be demolished so that we can save the lives of our people. We should remember that we lost people in Zanaki Street and we don't want this to happen.
Ni kweli kwamba kuna ujenzi wa majengo marefu unaofanyika hasa.
In Dar es Salaam we have high-storied buildings which have been built without following buildings laws and regulations. The owner doesn't consult engineers or building experts, which has resulted in this building, for instance, being in this state.
Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa has instructed the Commissioner of Geita Region, Engineer Robert Gabriel Humbi, to thoroughly investigate the Geita District Municipality, which stands accused of the embezzlement of public funds and the misuse of authority. The Prime Minister also announced the beginning of a house-to-house operation in order to find illegal immigrants who had entered the country via shortcuts. All this was revealed in the small town of Katoro only a short time after the people who had stopped the convoy of Prime Minister Majaliwa, who was coming from Geita and headed towards Chato following the end of his 4-day tour.
We have a big challenge in the provision of health care in this area. The health center doesn't meet the needs of our people. Honorable Prime Minister, if you had time, we could have gone together so you can see how bad things are. Women are giving birth on the corridors because there is not enough maternity wards. It will be better if a hospital could be built here. We spoke with the Minister of Health to see how Katoro and Luselesele could have a big hospital with a capacity to serve everyone. I've heard also that when you clear the road, you ask people for contributions. Regional Commissioner, please address this matter so that we know exactly how the contributions is spent. We don't say no to visitors coming in, but they must do so by following the right procedures. We have a lot of incidences of crime, which is not the nature of our people.
Tanzania has clinched first place among countries with the most attractions in the world, that they have the best quality of natural resources in Russia. The Minister of Tourism and Natural Resources, Dr. Hamis Kigwangala, said that at a meeting in Dar es Salaam, during a meeting that involved a delegation from Russia, where the competition was held, while emphasizing that apart from the win, they have already set a friendly environment to welcome tourists.
Na kwa mfano raia wa nchi ya Urusi,
people of Russia prefer quieter beaches of Zanzibar and hotels built by the coastline. And this is a criteria they use in choosing Tanzania as a superior destination in the world. Another criteria that was used is Mount Kilimanjaro and its surrounding habitat, as well as Moshi, which is at the foot of the mountain.
Kupitia road show kule nchini China.
They were able to tour 5 cities: Shanghai, Guangzhou, Hong Kong, Chengdu, and Beijing. These are big cities because just in Shanghai, there are at least 60 million people. If you take the population of Tanzania, we are still few compared to the people living in Shanghai.
I've been to a number of countries, and Tanzania is the first one that has everything. And I would say that you snatched and have stowed in your territory everything, all wonders that exist in Africa. You have the Indian Ocean beaches. You have Zanzibar and other gorgeous islands. You have the Mount of Kilimanjaro. You have Serengeti and Ngorongoro and other reserves. You have all the Great Lakes. Everything within your territory.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows next.
Wizara ya Viwanda, Biashara na Uwekezaji kupitia Mamlaka ya Maendeleo ya Biashara Tanzania, TanTrade, inawakaribisha wamiliki wa viwanda vidogo, vya kati na vikubwa kushiriki maonesho ya 3 ya bidhaa za viwanda Tanzania kuanzia tarehe 5 hadi 9 Disemba 2018 katika uwanja wa maonesho Mwalimu JK Nyerere, barabara ya Kilwa, Dar es Salaam. Lengo la maonesho haya ni kujenga jukwaa la wadau wa sekta ya viwanda na biashara kujadiliana, kubadilishana uzoefu na kutangaza fursa zilizopo katika sekta hizi. Aidha, maonesho haya yatatoa fursa na hamasa kwa Watanzania kutumia bidhaa na huduma zinazozalishwa na viwanda vilivyopo nchini. Tafadhali thibitisha ushiriki wako kwa kupakua fomu kwenye tovuti www.tantrade.go.tz. Kwa maelezo zaidi, piga simu namba 0715484452 au 0754265822. Hakuna kiingilio kwa watembeleaji. Tanzania, sasa tunajenga viwanda.
Welcome back, and in international news. DRC's National Electric Commission, CENI, has said that everything is ready for elections to take place properly, as all equipment are continuing to arrive in the country and others being delivered to districts. These elections in DRC are being done without the help of international community or MONUSCO.
We as citizens are very happy to see this, because people have been waiting for a long time to see if we could ever have elections. Congo can stand on its own and carry out its elections without requiring the help of assistance from other countries.
Uganda Police Force has successfully removed some from Lake Victoria, the boat that caused the accident of dozens in Lake Victoria, but the question as to where over 60 people were claimed to be on the boat are. Now, the Minister of Human Rights, Social Services, Community and Agenda, Martin Nivyabandi, has said that the government of Burundi is intent on continuing to improve the lives of people with disabilities by creating policies on them.
Training on different professionals and distribution of working equipment, different vocational training and distribution of equipment which will assist livelihood within the society, assistance in activities which will increase finance of the centers and disability parties, presence of schools of testing community education, free services to pregnant women and children under 5, without forgetting vaccination given to the children. The kind of bicycles we use are easily destroyed, and we are asking health caretakers to be brought to come assist and perform different tests on disabled people, since disabled people tend to get easily attacked with different diseases.
And human rights activists in Nairobi have protested on roads at the middle of the city of Nairobi to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Parliament, condemning opposers of President of Rwanda Paul Kagame being jailed and demanding that the government intervenes and aid in the release of former army leaders, activists and political leaders.
Hapa leo kwa niaba ya opposition leaders kutoka Rwanda.
Here today on behalf of opposition leaders from Rwanda, media people, soldiers and citizens, those who are held in custody by the President of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, which are more than 200 cause of opposition to the government.
And that is the end of international news. Business news follows shortly.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
To be rich, I have to be a business person.
It's not an easy road at all.
People need to understand. You must quickly think, how cost effective are you going to be?
Business acts as a way in which it can bridge that gap.
Business Edition will keep you informed on latest developments in the financial sector, extractive industry, tourism, agriculture, energy, construction, and so much more. Meet entrepreneurs who create employment opportunities. Watch Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news. Bariadi District Commissioner in Simiyu Region, Festo Kiswaga, has dismantled the procedure that had been set by the Cotton Board to distribute seeds to cotton farmers after the board was found to be unable to supervise distribution of the seeds, and directed Cotton Company that processes the seeds to start to sell to farmers so as to alleviate the problem.
For the farmers in Bariadi district, who are truly Sukumas, they can't farm only 1 hectare. So at the end of the day, these seeds have brought a great conflict to the citizens. Those farming from 5, 10, 20 hectares have no seeds to plant. Now, as a leader, we can't overlook on this, which is why I have explained, if we want this farming sector to go forward, then citizens need to get seeds without restrictions. I want to order the following. The government of Bariadi, which is led by myself, the district commissioner, I'm instructing that the factory of cotton in Bariadi should start selling seeds to citizens without any restrictions. We are complaining on the distribution of seeds that is not fair. They're giving out by favors, which is really not fair. They gave out seeds the first time and we missed, and now they gave again, but to some selected ones. And even others are coming now and receiving seeds, while we have been here since morning and have left our work at home.
The National Dairy Board has entered into an agreement with Tanzania Development Bank (TADB) to develop various areas with modern technology in production and implementation of various projects, including raising the sector's contribution to the growth of economy.
In the growth of milk industries, we are going to change the system so as to even increase more production, also have more processing, and add more markets to our people. Our work now is to ask the Board of Milk to assist us in coming up with different projects which will assist more in production to the small livestock keepers, to give them more markets. Also, we as a bank, before we give out loans, it's part of our procedure steps that those farmers get knowledge first.
The government has started an exercise to enable fishermen get loans so that they can purchase equipment to be able to help fish processing factories work efficiently.
La pili ni kuwezesha zile taasisi ambazo zinahusika na ufanyaji wa doria, monitoring.
The second is to enable the organization which performs monitoring so as to perform frequent monitoring. Even when we remember the campaign Minister Mpina started, which involved moving around with soldiers, the fishermen were even scared and left such acts. Now, if that activity is no longer, then the situation goes on as usual. We're emphasizing fishermen to join in the system of social parties because being in this system, firstly, they have unit strength and help them in getting market. Also, it helps them in getting loans from the bank since they have backup support from their parties.
And that is the end of business news. Sports news follows next.
Hi, my name is Kotaro Tokuda.
What's up? My name is Sean Garnier.
I'm John Barnes from Liverpool Football Club. The hip, hop, a hip, the hip, hip, hop. You don't stop the rockin' to the bang, bang. Boogie say up, jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat. Now what you hear?
I'm watching Sports Gazette.
I'm watching Sport Gazette.
And you're watching Sports Gazette
with Sebastian.
With Sebastian. Peace out.
Yes! And you can also watch Sports Gazette for highlights and interviews regarding sports. Do not miss Sports Gazette every Wednesday at 7 p.m. only on Capital Television.
And in sports news tonight, the national under-13 cricket team has started well at the TCA T20 regular series this year after defeating the Zimbabwe national team by 100 runs and 280 at the University of Dar es Salaam grounds.
Kubwa ni kukuza vipaji kwa sababu ukiangalia watoto umri wa chini hakuna watu ambao wanaweza kucheza nao.
The main thing is improving the talents because there are no people who can play with young children. Normally, they compete in their own internal leagues. So after this competition was started, we saw its importance because our under-14 team went to Zimbabwe in August this year and it played in a competition where Zambia, South Africa and others were also invited.
The mainland Premier League champions Simba Sports Club will leave for Swaziland on a Sunday with their second leg of the first round of the CAF Champions League scheduled for Tuesday.
Sisi ni Simba. We are Simba, a big team. We have prepared ourselves and there are lots of Tanzanians in Johannesburg who live there and they will join us to make sure we win the game. The most important thing for those at home is prayers.
Manchester United forward Alexis Sanchez could be out of for a long time with a hamstring injury, says manager Jose Mourinho. Here's more on the story.
The 29-year-old Chilean suffered the injury in training on Thursday. Sanchez is yet to have a scan to determine the extent of the damage, but Mourinho said he was screaming in pain and will miss up to 6 weeks. It is not a little muscular injury from which he will be ready in a week or 10 days, he added. Mourinho says it is more severe than the hamstring injury defender Victor Lindelof has suffered.
And Canadian driver Lance Stroll is to race for Force India in 2019. Here are more details.
His move from Williams, for whom he made his debut in 2017, has been Formula One's worst-kept secret since his father bought Force India in August. Canadian billionaire Lawrence Stroll rescued the team from administration as head of a consortium and is expected to change their name. His 20-year-old son will partner Mexican Sergio Perez, who was confirmed as a driver in October. Stroll's appointment means all 20 seats for next season are now confirmed.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. Thank you for watching and good night.
Kitabu cha Dr. Reginald Abraham Mengi kitwacho I Can, I Must, I Will sasa kinapatikana kwenye maduka ya kuuza vitabu yafuatayo: Dar es Salaam, A Novel Idea, Slipway Msasani, Yacht Club Road, Msasani Peninsula, The Book Cave, Mbezi Rainbow, Social Club, Ara Museum Offices, Ikunda Bookshop, Kariakoo mtaa wa Mhunda, House of Wisdom, Mezzanine nambari 22 NHC House, Samora Avenue, Dar es Salaam, MacBooks and Brains, Mlimani City Mall, duka nambari 44, Dar es Salaam, TPH Books, barabara ya Samora, Elite Bookstore, Mbezi njia panda Goba, Mlimani Bookshop, Kariakoo mtaa wa Sikukuu na Lindi, Timiza Malengo, Ubungo Kona, Chuo Kikuu, Bookmart Online Shop, Instagram, Bookmart TZ, Twitter, Bookmart 1, Jamani Investment Limited, Nyerere Road, Airport Terminal 2, Shinyanga, Kahama Bookshop Center, mtaa wa Lumerezi, Arusha, Kase Bookstore, mtaa wa Sekei, A Novel Idea, TFA Center, Arusha Tanzania, Dodoma, Lugarawa Bookshop, Dodoma mjini, barabara ya 8, Moshi, Ape Bookshop, Moshi mjini, Christian Bookshop, Moshi mjini.
Wahi nakala yako sasa kwenye duka lolote lililopo karibu nawe.
Habari za wakati huu mtazamaji wa ITV, habari pia za wakati huu msikilizaji wa Radio 1 na msikilizaji wa Capital Radio, lakini na wewe ambaye unatufuatilia kupitia katika kurasa zetu mbalimbali za mitandao ya kijamii, nazungumzia Facebook ITV Tanzania pamoja na YouTube ITV Tanzania, wote kule mubashara. Tunakwambia karibu sana katika malumbano ya hoja Alhamisi ya leo, Alhamisi ya tarehe 29 mwezi wa 11 mwaka huu 2018, Alhamisi ya mwisho ya mwezi wa 11 kwa mwaka huu 2018. Tunakwambia karibu sana kwa siku hii ya leo, na leo kubwa ambalo tunalitazama ni kuelekea siku ya ukimwi duniani. Nini kifanyike kuwalinda wasichana wadogo na maambukizi mapya ya virusi vya ukimwi? Kuelekea siku ya ukimwi duniani, nini kifanyike kuwalinda wasichana wadogo na maambukizi mapya ya virusi vya ukimwi? Kwa wewe ambaye ulipata nafasi ya kushiriki nasi kwa upande wa mitandao ya kijamii, maoni yako tutayasoma hapo baadaye. Tunazungumzia katika kurasa zetu za Facebook pamoja na Twitter, kule pia Instagram, kote tutakwenda kutazama maoni hapo baadaye. Mimi ni Bahati Alex.
Mimi ni Juma Kapalatu. Asante sana msikilizaji wa Radio 1, asante sana msikilizaji wa Capital Radio, asante sana mtazamaji wa ITV Super Brand Afrika Mashariki kwa mara 3 mfululizo. Tunashukuru sana. Hii ni malumbano ya hoja, na kama ilivyo ada malumbano ya hoja tunapata fursa ya kuwa na meza kuu pale. Na siku ya leo katika meza kuu yetu tunaye Kennedy Godwin. Huyu ni msimamizi wa mradi wa shirika la mtandao wa wanawake na wasichana wanaoishi na virusi vya ukimwi. Lakini tunaye Farida Omari, huyu ni mnufaika wa mradi. Lakini tunaye Silvia Sostenes, mwakilishi wa GBSS. Wako pale. Hawa ndio meza kuu yetu siku ya leo, ambao tunapata fursa kuweza kuchokoza mada na kutupa mwelekeo ni wapi tunakwenda na wapi tunapaswa kwenda. Hiki ni kipindi cha malumbano hoja, na kama ilivyo ada kwa haraka tuanze na meza kuu. Bahati Alex, mada hii imekuja muda mwafaka kabisa. Imebakia takriban nadhani kama siku moja hivi tuweze kuadhimisha dunia, Tanzania kiungana na nchi nyingine duniani kuweza kuadhimisha siku ya ukimwi duniani,
ambayo huwa inafanyika Disemba mosi.
Kila mwaka.
Disemba mosi ni Jumamosi kwa sababu kesho Novemba 30.
Imekuwa ni siku nzuri pia vile siku mapumziko. Kwa hiyo tunaamini wengi tutashiriki kuweza kuangalia, kutathmini jinsi gani siku ya ukimwi duniani tunaweza kuishiriki. Tuangalia namba yetu imekuja hii Bahati, ikizingatiwa kulingana na tathmini au takwimu ambazo zimetolewa na TACAIDS siku za hivi karibuni na mkurugenzi ya taifa kudhibiti ukimwi TACAIDS Dr. Leonard Maboko. Yeye akiwa kule Dodoma alisema kati ya watu 225 wanaambukizwa na VVU watu 225 wanaambukizwa virusi vya ukimwi kwa siku moja, na kati ya watu hao 225 wanaambukizwa VVU 90 ni vijana wenye umri kati ya miaka 18 na 24. Hiyo ndio takwimu ambayo imetolewa siku za hivi karibuni. Inatisha kidogo. Ndio maana tunaamua kuweka mada hii ambayo inasema kwamba kuelekea siku ya ukimwi duniani, nini kifanyike kuwalinda wasichana wadogo na maambukizi mapya ya virusi vinavyosababisha ukimwi. Tuanze na bwana Kennedy Godwin. Kulingana na mada ilivyo.
Na kwa kuanzia mimi nadhani Kennedy utuambie, tunaposema wasichana wadogo tunamaanisha wasichana namna gani? wa umri gani labda pengine tujue?
Tunaposema wasichana wadogo tunakuwa tunaimanisha kuanzia umri wa miaka 9 mpaka 14, miaka 14 mpaka miaka 24. Na kwa nini tunasema ni wasichana wadogo? Ukiangalia kutoka miaka 14 mpaka 24 unaweza ukasema sio wasichana wadogo. Lakini kwa hali halisi na kwa mfumo uliopo Tanzania, kuanzia miaka 14 mpaka miaka 24 ni miaka ambayo binti wa kike anatakiwa kwa shuleni. Kama hatakuwa sekondari, basi atakuwa elimu ya chuo au elimu nyingine zinazofanana na hiyo. Kwa hiyo tunapoongelea kwa Kiingereza wanasema ni AGYW, kwa maana ni adolescence, youth and adolescence and young youth and adolescence girls and young women. Tunapoongelea adolescence girls, yani wasichana wadogo, tunazungumzia huu miaka 9 mpaka miaka 14. Lakini kulingana na changamoto ambazo tunakuwa tunakutana nazo katika maisha na utaratibu mzima wa maisha kwa Tanzania, ikuta kwa namna moja au nyingine tunakuwa na kina mama lakini ni wadogo. Kwa maana ya kwamba tunakuwa na mabinti ambao hawajafikia katika umri wa kuwa kina mama lakini wanakuwa wa mama. Ndio maana tunasema, tukisema adolescence wasichana wadogo, tunasema miaka 9 mpaka miaka 14. Lakini tukiongelea kwamba young women, tunaongelea hawa ni wale ambao katika changamoto za kimaisha kuanzia miaka 19 mpaka miaka 14 wamejikuta wamekuwa wazazi. Kwa hiyo hatuwatoi katika kundi la wasichana wadogo, lakini tunajaribu kudili na ile changamoto yao kwamba wao ni wadogo lakini wameshakuwa ni wazazi.
Haya, sasa tumekwisha tambua kuhusiana na wasichana wadogo. Moja kwa moja tuende kwenye mada kuelekea siku ya ukimwi duniani. Nini kifanyike sasa kuwalinda wasichana wadogo na maambukizi mapya ya virusi vya ukimwi?
Kwa mimi binafsi nafikiri baadaye nitapata nafasi ya kuweza kufafanua zaidi, lakini ili nisiweze kuwaondoa mawazo wachangiaji wengine, mimi binafsi nimeona tatizo kubwa ambalo tulilonalo sasa hivi ni kwamba ni uwekezaji mdogo katika afua za kuzuia wasichana wadogo wasiweze kupata virusi